Welcome back to Collegeville, Minnesota. I'm Father Lew Grobe. It's hard to believe that in a little less than 2 months, St. John's Abbey Woodworking and organ builders will be in this facility, building furniture and crafting organs. In the next few minutes, I'd like to give you an update of what's happened over the past 2 months. So join me on this tour. Let's go on in. We start this tour in the room where guests will first enter the facility. This is where they'll learn a little bit about the history of woodworking here at St. John's and also get to see pieces that we actually craft. You can also see in this space the progress that we've made in that the walls are sheetrock taped and painted, the windows are in. The last thing to be done is the wood floor that we just pulled out of the kiln and sent up to be milled in Rice, Minnesota. And we'll enter into one of those defined places for organ building, the casting and hammering room, where the raw materials will be melted down, cast, and then hammered into sheets, where they'll then be brought up to the pipe shop to be made into pipes. As we leave the mill space, we enter a more finished area of the facility. As we look up, you'll see that the piping, plumbing, HVAC is all in place along with the electrical. And then we'll move into the finishing room where you'll see probably the most finished space that we have thus far. In this space, you'll see that the wainscoting is been applied and also the finishing has already been done. And when you look up, the heating and cooling units are in place, ready to work. And by the end of the month, there'll be the finishing booth at the end of this room where we'll do all of our spraying of furniture and organ parts. In the stairwell, you start to get a sense of the scale of the building with reference to this large wooden wall at the end of the stairwell. And then here, they're starting to prototype the railing that will bring us up to the second floor. So join me up there. As we enter the second floor, you'll see that things are not quite as far along as they are on the first floor, and there's a reason for that. We need to get the large machinery in place soon on that first floor, so we wanted it to be a little further along. But still, with the walls up, the windows in, you get a sense of the scale for the artisan studios, the dedicated space for the artisans of the Abbey to also work on their craft. An important feature of a 2-story manufacturing facility is an elevator. Right now, it might look no more than just an empty shaft, but soon this will be carrying freight, equipment, and furniture up to the second floor. Understandably, a woodworking and organ building studio can be a noisy place, but there are also rooms that we need to be less noisy. Take, for instance, the voicing room, where we've added a bit of soundproofing. You'll see insulation and 2 layers of sheetrock to keep the sound out so that we can hear the tuning of the pipes before they go to the assembly room. In the manual trades, light is important. So you'll see that we've added as many windows that we can into the places to allow natural light to come in, especially here in the pipe shop and even in the machine shop here where we'll have our mill machine, metal lathe. This room will also be outfitted with a special exhaust system that you'll see coming out of the roof here. It'll have a snorkel so that when we're welding and other processes in here, we'll have sufficient exhaust. For the last room on this tour, we bring you into the assembly room, which is nearing completion as well. This is the room where the pipes from the pipe shop and the case will come together to actually be assembled into the organ. Now, come join me outside as we look at the kiln. Here we are at the wood kiln, the first fully completed part of the project. We've already had our first batch run through the wood kiln to great success, and here is the second batch. It will be ready to be moved out of here and crafted into furniture in the next few weeks. Thank you for joining us on this tour of St. John's Abbey Woodshop. As we speak, a crew is moving the materials and machinery from Posse Organ Studios here to Collegeville, Minnesota. We hope to welcome you in a few months to see this new facility in action. And until then, peace.